expand this very literally, it means that there are 4 of whatever's inside the brackets, right? And so this is how I would never make a mistake. I would never make a power loss mistake again, right? Because I'm like visually looking at, like I'm always thinking back to this expanded form, right? So it means that there are 4 of whatever's in the bracket. So it's going to be x squared times x squared times x squared times x squared. Which you could then further expand down into like 8 x's, because you could break these the x squareds into individual x's as well. There'd be 8 x's multiplied together, and if there's 8 x's multiplied together, what's the result? X to the power of 8. Well, how on earth could I do that without having to write all those expanded forms out? Well, multiply the exponents. Anytime you have powers raised to powers, multiply them. Okay, for the reasoning that you don't want to have to do this expanded form version. Just know the power laws to make your life easier, faster. Okay? And that would make the next one, 3 times 2 would turn into x to the power of 6. Now, careful with this one. It might just be me, but I commonly forget, and it could be you too, I commonly forget to put that 3 on top of the 2. Not just me, I've seen students do it. They don't put the power on top of the coefficient that's on the term, right? So this is where like writing it in expanded form kind of catches that for me, right? Because if I took 3 of those, it's going to be 2x squared times 2x squared times 2x squared. There are 3 of whatever's inside the brackets. Well, now I know 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. That takes care of the numbers. And then how many x's do I see? 6. Okay? Just be careful when you have powers, like, these can get tricky sometimes, especially if there's fractions and things in there, right? You got rationals. Okay, so the very last one, the squared goes on everything. 3 squared would be 9. M squared to the power of 2 would be m to the 4. And n cubed to the exponent 2 would be n to the 6. A very common mistake that I would see, probably will still see it. It's a little slip up, probably more often than not, but a lot of people I've seen write n to the power of 5. That's because instead of multiplying, they've added. And they fall into that little trap because 2 times 2 seems like it equals 4, but 2 plus 2 also equals 4. So they make a little mind error there, and they go 2 plus 2 is 4, and then they go to do the other one. 3 plus 2 is 5. It's always powers to powers you multiply. Okay, so that has to be a 6. So just be careful with that. It's an easy mistake to make. Okay? So if I were to write a law here, it would be x to the ma, y to the na. Okay, we'll hit stop.